What's up, LGGers? Welcome to the March 14th edition of the Daily Spread. My name is Brady Trantham, and you're going to be looking at me for the next 10 to 15 minutes or however long this takes. Give everybody a few minutes to kind of jump in, and again, don't be shy. You know, if you want to say something, if you want to make a comment, ask a question, you know, this is what this is all for. So take the opportunity and tell me my opinions suck, or if you want to just pile on Baylor some more, you know, that seems to be in vogue at the moment. So have at it. But before we get into some of the little news bits for the day, and there isn't a lot, we're going to go over a few things that we've already talked about in case you guys have been under a rock for the last few days and didn't catch anything. So the big thing with just out of a time issue, we still have our bracket, our NCAA March Madness bracket out there for you guys to join. We've actually had about 7 or 8 or 9 people join in so far, and you have until Thursday. So if you want to do a bracket, go ahead and sign up for it. It's on the Facebook account. I'm sure it's somewhere on Twitter as well, but it's really easy. Doesn't cost anything. And the winner will get a free LandGrant Gauntlet t-shirt of their choice. So I know there's probably a few OSU fans that want that new Big Daddy mug t-shirt. There's really cool t-shirts for everybody, for every other school, customized, of course, and really good, really easy to order from. So, you know, just have at it and join the fun. And I'll just tell you this. I know the tournament, I know there's some playing games, but I already picked my champion, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I picked UCLA. So I can't wait for my bracket to be utterly destroyed, and I'm sure you all feel the same. So just look for that on the article for this video. There will be a link. There's some the Big 12 teams that are involved in the tournament. They're going to be their schedules are going to be on the article. There's going to be a link to the bracket, so if you want to join, go ahead and go there, or check it out on our Facebook page. So just enjoy that, everybody, and I hope you guys join, because it's a lot more fun when everybody else joins in. Some little bit of website news. Chris has switched the commenting system on the website from Facebook over to Discus, which I think that's what we had. I believe that's what we had in the past, and we just kind of decided it's probably for the best to make it more communal. It's easier with Discus. It's easier for everybody to comment, because not everybody has a Facebook page. And it's the same with Twitter. Not everybody has a Twitter account. So this way, if you don't have Facebook, you don't have Twitter or something, if you're not a really big social media junkie like I am, then you can just read our articles, and then you can comment and tell us how dumb we are, or how much you agree with it. Hopefully you agree with what we say and what we throw out there. We don't want to piss off too many people. So just for that. Just look for that, I guess, as the off-season wears on. Spring football's beginning to start for all the Big 12 teams. I believe OSU just started. OU's about to start. Texas has already started. So it's that time of year, everybody, and we're all really, really excited. But other than that, there's a few little tidbits of news here and there. I don't want to get into Baylor just yet. We'll leave that for the end of the show, just in case people want to say anything about it. And it also gives me a headache. But there was a cool little article on ESPN, and there's going to be a link to it on the article for this video. It's former TCU offensive coordinator, current Kansas offensive coordinator, and Matthew McConaughey lookalike, Doug Meacham. It just kind of goes through his work history coming up through Oklahoma State, TCU. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because that's going to distract me. TCU, and then now Kansas, and kind of goes into his philosophy, his mentality of coaching. And it's really a good piece, really good, really interesting, something out there for Kansas fans to check out. You know, you don't want to get too optimistic with Kansas football, because it is what it is. And obviously with their last 5 to 6 years, ever since that magical 2007 Orange Bowl year, they've been slowly going more and more downhill. But there is a sense of pride coming out of the Kansas program right now, and the hiring of Doug Meacham will certainly help with that. He helped turn TCU, the TCU program, into a just defensive mentality, pretty much basic offense, nothing to really write home about. And then he turned Trevon Boykin into a Heisman candidate and really turned TCU into a Big 12 team with their offense. So hopefully he can replicate that with Kansas, and I'm sure Jayhawk fans would be really excited to see that, considering Kansas is actually the 1 seed, the Midwest region. So hopefully they have a good showing in the tournament, and then they have some good football to look forward to in the fall. So check that out on ESPN. We'll put the link to it in the article. But now, well, I guess obviously there's the Baker Mayfield video out there still. We'll also have that in the article for the video, just in case you haven't seen it. It's still out there. I mean, bless his heart. I don't want to laugh at it too much because, I mean, it's embarrassing. Don't really want to pile on him. I'm sure he's felt embarrassed and shamed enough for 10 people at this point. So you don't want to necessarily make fun of the kid, but I mean, it's out there. So, and it happened. So if you guys want to look at it and watch it some more, we'll put it up on the article again. But now with Baylor, every day, man, just every single day it's something new, and it's really, really, really frustrating. Well, Baylor just today fired their assistant director of football operations. His name was Demarko Butler. The sad part about it, other than what he's done, what he's accused of doing, yeah, Chris, that's because I'm getting texts on my phone. People are texting me, so sorry. Anyway, the sad part about it, except for what he's actually accused of doing, which is sending inappropriate text messages to a teenager, is that he was actually hired by Matt Rule with the intention of cleaning up the program, or assisting in cleaning up the program. So it seems even when Baylor tries to do something good, or they're trying to get the right footing into moving on into kind of distancing themselves from the Art Briles era, something like this pops up, and man, they just really can't catch a break. But it's Butler's doing, if indeed it is true. But I don't think Baylor wanted to even go through the process of innocent until proven guilty, given their history. So Matt Rule just went ahead and cut ties with him. So kudos to Coach Rule, who I have a lot of optimism and high expectation for. Not necessarily right out of the gate, but he is a really good coach, someone that I could really see Baylor thrive under if they give him time. So at least with this, we know that he is no nonsense, and he has a clear vision of what he wants Baylor to be, and Demarko Butler didn't fit it. So kudos again to Coach Rule. And I actually saw the trailer for this documentary coming up on Showtime that I'm sure Chris talked about yesterday, but we'll also have it again on the article for this page. I can't even remember what it was called. I think it was called Disgraced on Showtime, and it's basically centered around the 2003 murder of Patrick Dennehy, who was a hotshot basketball player for the Baylor basketball program. He was murdered, and little to nothing happened afterwards. Little to nothing came of it, and it's just another dark mark on the Baylor athletic program that even at the time it should have been. I just remember it not being as big as a news story as it should have been, and a lot of that had to do with Baylor. Not saying that the media didn't try to cover it up or anything. It was just simply, from what I remember, Baylor just tried to sweep it under the rug as much as possible. And then you fast forward, 10 years later almost, and there's a tweet, sorry about that. You fast forward 10 years later, and you have the Art Briles mess. And I mean, there's something that needs to be done with Baylor. I really don't know if it's a culture thing, if it's a leadership thing. It seems to be a culture thing, because they continuously have a revolving door of suits, leadership, and these things continue to happen. So you just got to hope for the best with Baylor. they're going to put out a good product on the field or on the court. They've got a good recruiting inroads just being in the middle of Texas. So you just have to hope that kind of morality kind of takes care of itself with them. So, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it anymore. It's always kind of hard for me to talk about. I don't know. We'll just move on from Baylor for the moment. If you didn't get a chance to see this with TCU, our recruiting coordinator, Patrick Mahorn, he put up a good little piece on TCU landing a 4-star safety over the weekend. And, man, like, these athletes' names are getting harder and harder to pronounce. It's Atanza Vonger. Sorry if I screwed that up, but it looks like a made-up name, which I'm sure it means something cool. So don't want to make fun of it too much, but it is very hard to read when I write it down and try to pronounce it. So check that out on the website. I'll have the link on the article to Patrick's piece on the signing for TCU. So that's a really huge pickup. TCU is not necessarily a program that will just chug out 4 and even 5 stars. So when they get their handful of 4 stars, it's certainly really huge for that program. It's big for the Big 12, and a 4-star safety going to a Big 12 school, that is pretty big news. The Big 12 overall certainly needs their share of defensive playmakers, and hopefully Atanza can bring that to the TCU program in the next few seasons. So, but other than that, everybody, we are a few days away from March Madness, so I know everybody's trying to get ready for that, get psyched up for that, and I'm ready for it. It's one of the best sporting events of the year. Really exciting. Even if your team OU isn't in the tournament, it's still really exciting to watch. So I'll get excited for that. I can't wait to see more people join the bracket. So again, look for that. And I want to take this moment to welcome our new LGG writer contributors. And let me pull up their names real quick. And there's another text. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. There that is. Okay. We have, is it Chase Wilder or Chase Wilder, like Gene Wilder? Chase Wilder. And then we also have, let's see, Jeremy Hewin. Sorry if I'm screwing your names up, everybody. All these last names come from athletes to our contributors are pretty tough, so I'm sorry about that. But welcome, Chase and Jeremy. Thank you so much for joining the team, and we look forward to working with you guys. And also, we're still taking contributors, everybody. So if anybody's interested in contributing in any way to Big 12 college football, just give us an email, give us a message on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll do our best to get you acclimated as soon as possible so that you can join the fun. And it is a lot of fun, everybody, to write and work the website. So just look for that. But other than that, I think this will probably wrap up the March 14th edition of the Daily Spread. So if anybody has any questions, just hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, comment, share, like the video on Facebook, on YouTube. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So, and I keep getting tweets. Sorry, everybody, for the buzz noises. But for LandGrant Gauntlets, the Daily Spread, and me, Brady Trantham, I bid you all adieu. Have a good day.